Triumph of Nyah. In the village of Eziama, where the earth was the color of rust and the trees whispered in the wind, a girl named Nyah was born. Her father, Obina, wove baskets from palm fronds, but baskets could not fill empty stomachs. Her mother, Amara, molded clay pots, but a long drought had dried the riverbed, making clay scarce. Their home was a small hut with a thatched roof, its walls cracked from years of rain and sun. The nights were cold, and hunger was a familiar visitor in their household. But Nyah was not like other children, she was a child of stories. From a young age, Nyah would sit at the feet of the village elders, drinking in their tales like water in a dry season. The griots, the keepers of history, told stories of great warriors, cunning tricksters, and gods who shaped the land. Every word fascinated her, every tale planted a seed in her heart. But there was one rule that had never been broken: storytelling belonged to men. A girl must learn to cook, to sew, to be a good wife, the elders said. Stories are not for you. But Nyah did not listen. She memorized the stories in her mind and whispered them to the wind. When she turned 12, she dared to ask if she could tell a story at the evening gathering. The elders laughed. A girl, a storyteller. Go and fetch water. Her heart clenched, but she refused to let the rejection break her. Instead, she found another way. She gathered the younger children beneath the old baobab tree and began to tell stories in secret. At first, only a few came, their eyes filled with doubt. But soon, her stories captivated them. They sat in silence, mouths open, hearts racing. Tell another, they begged when she finished. Word spread, and even older children began sneaking away to hear her tales. But not everyone was pleased. The mothers scolded their children. She fills your head with nonsense, they warned. The elders summoned her parents. This must stop, they ordered. A girl must learn useful skills. No man will marry a girl who tells stories. Her father sighed, her mother wept, and Nyah was forbidden from telling tales again. For weeks, she obeyed, but her heart ached in silence. Then she found a new way. She carved her stories onto palm leaves, pressing each word carefully into the fibers. She hid them under her sleeping mat, adding to them every night. Even if she could not speak her stories, she would write them. One day, they will listen, she promised herself. One evening, a traveling chief stopped in Eziama. As he rested in the village square, he overheard children whispering about Nyah's secret stories. Intrigued, he summoned her. Tell me a tale, he said. Her heart pounded, but she took a deep breath and began. She told a story of a girl who spoke to the stars, of a warrior who was laughed at but became a legend. The chief listened, nodding slowly, his eyes filled with wonder. You have a gift, he said. Come to my palace in the city of Nzamba and tell your stories there. Nyah's heart soared. This was her chance. But fate had other plans. When she arrived in Nzamba, she was led into a grand hall filled with men, scholars, griots, and elders. She stepped forward, her voice steady, but before she could begin, a council member stopped her. A girl, he scoffed. This is not a place for you. The chief hesitated, then sighed. Perhaps they are right, he said. The people will not accept it. Nyah was sent away without a single word spoken. As she walked home, shame clung to her like a second skin. Maybe I was wrong, she thought. Maybe stories are not for me. But then, she remembered the children under the baobab tree. They had listened. They had believed. And if even one person listened, was that not enough? She returned to Eziama and doubled her efforts. She continued writing her stories on palm leaves, trading them for food, leaving them in markets, slipping them into travelers' bags. Slowly, her words spread beyond her village, carried by those who read them. And then, fate came knocking once more. A great festival was announced in Samba, where the greatest griots would gather to tell their tales. It was a stage she had once been denied, but this time, she would not ask for permission. She packed her palm leaves, held her head high, and walked into the festival. When she stepped onto the stage, laughter rippled through the crowd. A girl. Here, they murmured. But she ignored them. She closed her eyes, took a breath, and spoke. She told the story of a girl who was rejected, of a dream that refused to die. She spoke of fear, of courage, of persistence. The crowd fell silent. Even the griots listened. When she finished, there was no laughter, only thunderous applause. That night, she was crowned the griot of the land, the first woman in history to hold the title. The elders who once dismissed her now bowed in respect. Nyah had not just become a storyteller, she had rewritten the rules of storytelling itself. She returned to Eziama, no longer as the girl they had mocked, but as a legend. She built a school where both boys and girls could learn the art of storytelling. Even the elders who once forbade her from speaking now sat in her classes, eager to learn. "You have given our stories life," they told her. Years later, when Nyah stood before a great audience to receive an award, she thought of the girl she once was. The girl who whispered stories to the moon, who faced rejection, who carved words into palm leaves so they wouldn't be forgotten. Success, she said in her speech, is not about who allows you to speak. It is about speaking until the world has no choice but to listen. The crowd erupted in applause, but Nyah only smiled. She had fought. She had won. And she had become a legend. Lessons. Rejection is not the end, but a lesson. Every rejection Nyah faced only made her find another way. Passion and consistency can break any barrier. She never stopped telling stories, even when the world told her she couldn't. Success is about opening doors for others. She did not just achieve greatness, she made sure others could follow. Believe in your craft, even when no one else does. Nyah's belief in her words turned her into a legend.